All right. Howdy, 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 everyone. Welcome to the first video for Wiwa Latina History of the Roman Empire. What I'm going to do in this video is just go through the Florida Junior Classical League History of the Roman Empire Study Guide and just sort of gradually reveal little facts about the Roman Empire that might come up in a Cretamen round or a Roman history test. This isn't supposed to be comprehensive by any means. It's more just designed to encourage you to go out and do your own studying once you know a few fun facts about all of these wacky little characters we call Roman emperors. So, without further ado, I'm just going to start by unblacking out the first fact. Blank Empire. I guess this isn't intuitive, but these are the dates. The Roman Empire lasted from 27 BC, with the start of the reign of Augustus, to AD 476. The AD actually goes before the year number for AD because of Latin stuff. And that's when Romulus Augustulus was deposed by this man named Odoacer. So, the empire begins on January 26th. Nope, January 16th, 27 BC, when Octavian returns power to the Senate. If you're not familiar, Augustus and Octavian are just the same guy. Augustus just means honored one. Octavian was his actual kind of name. Of course, that it's not his Latin name. His Latin name was Octavianus, but come on. So they name him Augustus, and he's given the provinces of Egypt, Gaul, and Syria to personally oversee. That's just kind of how it is. That comes up in tests sometimes, and I have a way of getting it wrong, so don't be like me. These first couple emperors are called Julio-Claudian, and the first is our friend Augustus. He married a little bit. He liked family values, well, as much as a divorcer can, I suppose, but he set up a good administration, and it said that he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. That's like a whole thing. It's like a phrase that comes up. And then in AD 9, his general Quinctilius Varus, great name by the way, loses 3 legions in Germany at the Teutoburg Forest against this German dude named Arminius, who is also called, informally, Herman the German. That name comes up more than you would think. I don't really know why. It's like the only nickname you get in Roman history, but I guess you guys can enjoy Herman the German. The next Roman emperor is Tiberius, Augustus's stepson. So he was the son of Augustus's second wife by a different man. How cool. He actually is famous for leaving Rome twice to go to 2 random islands. The first time, he went to Rhodes, and that's before he became emperor. He just kind of felt like it. And then later in life, he retires to this island off the coast of, I think, Campania, which is in around South Italy. And he retires to this island called Capri and has this guy named Sejanus do a lot of the work until, he has him executed. But, you'll learn about that later. The next emperor is kind of famous, Caligula, known for being slightly crazy and slightly wacky and just a silly little guy. But here's something. The Romans wouldn't have called him Caligula. They would call him Gaius. That's just kind of his name. Caligula is a nickname given him by history folks, and it means little boots because he was the son of a general, and that general named Germanicus liked to dress him up with little boots. Isn't that sweet? Next up is Claudius, who's actually Caligula's uncle. The story behind that is basically he started limping around everywhere, pretended to be a bit of a silly fellow. It says here that he pretended to be stupid. That's always been a little blunt for me, but I guess it's not wrong. So he's the brother of Germanicus and Caligula's uncle, who just basically got the empire out of luck. He turned out to be pretty good, though. He conquered Britain, hence the name Britannicus. But he was married first to this person named Messalina, who you'll learn a lot about. She's sort of... I think she's pretty cool, but I don't know if that's a very popular opinion. And then later on, he got married to his own niece, Agrippina the Younger, who is the daughter of a couple important people that you learn about as you study more. And she's also the mom of Nero. Now, Nero's another famous bad emperor, right? Of course, though, he wasn't actually called Nero. Well, he was actually. His original given name wasn't Nero. It was Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus. The Domitii Ahenabarbi are a family that actually comes up quite a bit in Roman history, so it's just good to notice them now. Although they're mostly a republic before this. He's Claudius's stepson, another stepson. He married Claudius's daughter Octavia. He became emperor around 16. He had a couple tutors who were kind of cool, and then he started killing them. Then there was a big fire in AD 64 that let him build a big house called the Domus Aurea, this golden house. That was basically a major passion project for him. So, of course, he was happy. And to avoid basically getting the blame for the fire pinned on him wanting to build his big golden house, he blames a little group you might have heard of called the Christians. Uh, yeah. So he basically scapegoats the Christians to justify his building a giant house. Of course, this is the start of like the first big persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire and in Roman history in general. And this is actually the historical context for the writing of the Gospel of Mark. Was this sort of persecution, and Mark was encouraging the Christians to, stay strong. And also in Britain during this time, there was a revolt. There was a revolt by this queen called Boudica, who you will also learn a little more about as you study. Then Nero kills himself because everything just sort of goes really badly for him towards the end. Now, there is sort of a big civil war. 69 AD is pretty famous. It's called the Year of the Four Emperors, starting with this dude called Galba. He was supported by this man called Julius Vindex, who backed him, although Julius Vindex actually kind of loses relevance before Galba becomes emperor because of a little battle at Vesontio. But, you'll learn about that later. Again, be excited! Next up is Otho, who was named Princeps, or Emperor, by the Praetorian Guard. Basically, they kill Galba for being a loser and adopting someone as a son that they didn't like, and a couple other reasons. And then Otho takes power. Except then, no one really likes Otho. I mean, just look at the name, it's kind of stupid. So there's this dude called Vitellius, who commanded armies at the Lower Rhine, who defeats Otho at a little place called Cremona and becomes emperor in his place. And of course, Vitellius is famous for being really fat and stupid and lazy, so this guy named Vespasian takes his place at a different battle, also called Cremona. Usually they're distinguished by saying First Battle of Cremona for the one Vitellius won, and then Second Battle of Cremona for the one Vespasian won. So Vespasian actually starts another dynasty. He starts building the Colosseum, and then he has this son called Titus, who actually helped him capture a little city you might have heard of called Jerusalem in 70. Sorry, Titus captures Jerusalem for Vespasian, like sort of in his stead. And he has a big arch built for it. And then also, under Titus's reign, the Colosseum gets finished and dedicated. Also, Mount Vesuvius erupts during Titus's reign. That's kind of famous because of like Pompeii and stuff. So like, that's fun, huh? Interestingly enough, two other cities were destroyed along with Pompeii, namely Herculaneum and Stabiae. So that's kind of neat, I feel. And then what you might not know, even if you knew about Titus, is that Vespasian had another son, Domitian, who ruled a lot longer than Titus because Titus just kind of got sick one day. But there's this guy called Domitian, another son of Vespasian, who was sort of cruel and made the senators call him Dominus et Deus. And I mean, if I were the Roman Emperor, I would make senators call me their Lord and God. But I mean, I get why you wouldn't. It certainly did not make the senators like him, which is why he is called cruel. So after Domitian gets stabbed to death by his butler, because why not? The next person to take charge is this guy called Nerva. Marcus Cocceius Nerva is his full name, and he's just kind of old. He doesn't do much except adopt the next guy, Trajan, who's like this super cool general. He fought the Dacians or Dacians or Dacians, which is like this kingdom near where Romania is nowadays. And he built a column to commemorate his victory over the Dacians. Interestingly enough, his victory over the Dacians is like probably why Romanians speak a language derived from Latin today. He also brought the empire to its largest extent in 117, right before he died. Also, this comes up like a weird amount. He was born in Spain. Hadrian was also born in Spain, but no one cares about it for Hadrian. Like, yeah. Trajan was born in Spain. Isn't that nice? So he adopts this guy called Hadrian. He liked travel and architecture and Greek stuff. In fact, he was called Graeculus, which means like Greekling, sort of in English. Before he became the emperor, he was just like really big into anything Greek, philosophy, um, culture, art, you name it. He built a big wall between Britain and Scotland and adopted this guy called Antoninus Pius. All right. Speaking of Antoninus Pius, he reigned for a really long time, for like a little over 20 years. He celebrated the 900th anniversary of Rome, and he adopted Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus to become co-emperors after him. He's not that interesting. No one really cares about him. I'm going to be so honest. I do not remember the last time I saw an Antoninus Pius question in anything, but yeah. This guy's kind of interesting. This is Marcus Aurelius. He co-ruled with his brother Lucius Verus from 161 to 169. Then I believe Lucius Verus just kind of dies, and it's Marcus Aurelius, and he's famous also for being a Stoic philosopher. He wrote a very famous book called The Meditations that people still read today and claim changes their life. Does it? Probably not, but the fact that his book is still even being mentioned says he's kind of cool. Then Marcus Aurelius has this son called Commodus, who's kind of a jerk and an idiot. He likes to dress up as Hercules for some reason. I don't know. And he was known for being cruel and sort of incompetent. So, congratulations, Commodus. Then Commodus gets killed because he sucks on New Year's Eve of 192. Like, I mean, the one before 193. So, like, December 31st, 192. And then it's Pertinax who takes the throne. He doesn't do much. He just kind of dies. He gets assassinated. And then this dude called Didius Julianus literally buys the empire at an auction, and he beats out this guy called Sulpicianus, Pertinax's father-in-law. And look, I didn't know Sulpicianus until like this year. So I mean, if you know Sulpicianus starting out, you're already in a better place than I am, huh? And so this is where I'll leave off this video. Just sort of knowing a couple facts about these early Roman emperors up to Didius Julianus, because we're going to see a little bit of a shift in how the empire works in the Severan dynasty. They're going to favor the military more, and it's going to be a little more chaotic and just overall a little worse. So if you like bad things, stay tuned. All right. Until next time, I'm John Mitnik. Have a lovely day.